Sexual intercourse remains an awkward topic for many, so when problems arise in this area, we often choose to keep quiet. Some people believe it is shameful to seek help from a specialist, while others are afraid to even talk about it with their partners. Prohibitions, inhibitions, and many other factors can lead to sexual dissatisfaction and even its absence. What factors influence sexual desire? Is the absence of sex always a problem, and is it normal not to want it? In this video, we discuss these topics. Sexual desire is known as libido. Contrary to Freud's theory, which claimed that it is formed from early childhood, sexual hormones are responsible for its development. During puberty, libido blossoms fully. In girls, this process starts with their first period, while in boys, it begins after the formation of full ejaculation and also nocturnal emissions. Before this, a child's understanding of sexual desire is vague and not like mature sexuality. However, physiological sexual attraction already appears in the fetus. It is difficult to identify excitement in girls, but boys may experience an erection even during formation in the mother's womb. In preschool and early school age, children may display arousal, but usually, this is a reaction to overstimulation of the nervous system or a desire to use the toilet. Children's interest in their genitalia is exploratory, and even attempts at masturbation are not accompanied by sexual desire. It is simply a way to experience something pleasant, like a head rub. Around age 13, the first stage of libido formation begins, which is platonic. This is a time of first crushes, fantasies, and emotional closeness with others. Often, the child's idol, such as a singer, teacher, or even a cartoon character, becomes the object of their love. All of this is normal at this stage. It is important to allow the child to experience their feelings, or they may get stuck in this stage and not progress from infantile libido to mature sexuality. The second stage of erotic development begins during puberty, which involves the exploration and experimentation of sexuality. This is when an interest in sex and intimacy arises, and sex becomes a means of achieving goals such as respect and self-assertion. It is important to focus on exploring one's own sexuality during this stage, as it will be difficult to achieve intimacy in the future without doing so. The third stage, sexual maturity, is when a person understands sex as a form of intimacy between individuals. A mature libido is the foundation for healthy and mature romantic relationships. Libido consists of various factors such as physical characteristics that determine the onset of sexual maturity, cultural and social factors, and genetic predispositions. This forms the basis for sexual temperament, which determines the normalcy of sexual behavior for each individual and influences sexual life in a couple. Temperament refers to our attitude towards sex, which depends on psychological, physiological, and cultural factors. Each person has an individual temperament that determines their sexual desire. Sexual temperament can be strong, moderate, or weak. Weak sexual temperament occurs in about 10% of people who can easily refuse sex, and their desires can be influenced by external factors such as fatigue, stress, and lack of sleep. Moderate temperament is found in 80% of people and is characterized by moderate sexual appetite, while external factors can significantly influence their desire and ability to engage in sex. Strong sexual temperament is found in 10% of people who are easily aroused, and external factors have difficulty influencing their libido. There is also asexuality nowadays, and there is no one-size-fits-all definition for it. While sexuality is typically considered a variant of sexual temperament or sexual orientation, asexuality generally refers to the absence of sexual attraction. It's important to distinguish between sexual attraction, which is the desire for sex with someone specific, and libido, which is the desire for sexual activity in general. Asexual individuals do not experience sexual attraction towards others, but their libido can still be present, and they may seek other ways to fulfill their sexual needs. Engaging in sexual activity may be enjoyable and interesting to asexual individuals, but their desire for sex is not necessarily linked to arousal. It could instead stem from a desire for closeness, touch, or exploration. While sexuality can manifest in different ways, it's a normal variation of human behavior. However, it's essential to differentiate asexuality from the absence of desire following trauma, which may indicate sexual dysfunction rather than a unique temperament. In most cases, couples have a similar level of sexual temperament. However, if their desires do not align, issues may arise in their sex life. One partner may crave intimacy while the other does not, but this does not necessarily mean they are incompatible and should end their relationship. Using sex toys or trying open relationships may be options to satisfy a more sexually driven partner, and masturbation can relieve sexual tension. Ultimately, it's important to remember that forcing oneself to engage in sex without desire only leads to dissatisfaction. Additionally, one could consider open relationships if it is mutually agreed upon by both partners. It is important to remember that engaging in sex without desire solely to satisfy a partner's needs can lead to trauma and violence, and the aftermath may take a long time to rectify. There are many factors that influence sexual desire, some of which may seem unrelated to it, such as economic situations, seasonal changes, and work deadlines, which affect the libido of 90% of individuals. External factors can cause stress, which can exhaust the body. Living in a state of chronic stress can lead to emotional burnout, depression, and anxiety disorders, as well as a decrease or absence of sexual desire. In such cases, it is not advisable to insist on sex or force oneself. The best way to address the situation is to solve the underlying problems that cause stress, and desire will return. If you are unable to do so on your own, seek the help of a specialist. The absence of sex does not necessarily indicate problems in a relationship. Sexologists claim that if there is periodic lack of sexual intimacy in a relationship, but the relationship is strong, open, and trusting, it is a good sign. If you treat each other with care and pay attention to your partner's desires, which may change over time, and do not insist on intimacy when your partner does not want it, then both the emotional and physical aspects of the relationship are important to you. In monogamous relationships, periods of calmness with no infidelity indicate healthy, mature, and harmonious relationships. Today we listed only a few factors that can influence sexual life. If you are interested in other reasons that can lead to problems with sex, write about it in the comments, like, and share this video with your friends, so we can understand what interests you.